It's a small one.
Okay, all right. The grid method is what I taught. It's also called dilation in math. Sorry about the non-math people. But in middle school, this is what scale factor, 0.5 or a half. It's reduction or shrink. And these were terms that the math teachers loved, the fact that I would teach in art. But dilation is either shrinking or enlarging. So what I'd create, this frog is here, it's the same size. But if I want to reduce it in size, instead of making these an inch, I make them a half inch. And it actually is 1/4 the size of this. So, but it works the same way. Or if you want to enlarge it, then it goes here. So, but dilation is the actual term. When I taught in school, and when you have graphs that are transparencies as well as solid. So to start off with, just to show you how this is used, I'm going to take a blank sheet of paper and put over my graph. The reason why I have a blank sheet of paper over my graph is I want to be able to use my graph again. And if I draw on the graph, then I won't. So now you have a brown background because now you might have your sketchbook that you can put this over. But if I put another piece of white paper up underneath, I can see my grid better. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if your paper's too thick to see through, I have some copy paper.
Can I have one just to play with, because it is a little thick?
Yeah.
Thank
All right, here, just take one, pass it around.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. But what I love about grids is it gives me a constant. It gives me so many points of reference that I don't get lost. Now, one thing I do want to go get is paper clips or tape. Once you start your work, you don't want your grid to slide. You want to keep it in place.
Now I have some in the folder here.
Okay. I love magnets. I buy magnets and then they hold my clips. All right, so I'm gonna just put a clip there so that doesn't slide. You could tape it down. You got tape here, so tape, clips, whatever you want.
Thank you.
And when I begin my drawing, whatever I'm using, now this one has the lines over it. I went ahead and did that just that way you didn't have to worry about it moving. I gave you a clear transparency that you can put over your own photos so you don't have to draw directly on your photos. You can use, and I'll show you in a little bit how to use that. But right now I just want to show you how this works. I'm going to label my grid so you know what square I'm on. So across the top, and outside the grid, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. So if I say I'm in box B2, you know I'm here. If I say I'm in box C1, you know I'm here. So that helps me as a teacher, that helps you as a student, and then if I had this on a larger sheet of paper, I could number it outside what it is. But right now I just have it on there so that my image and where I'm drawing has my reference points. Does that make sense? Okay. Little bit of math, not too much, hopefully. No. Okay, so what's fun about drawing this way is all the other drawing methods began at one point and worked out from there. I usually do the same thing here, but because it's a grid and you have so many different reference points, you could probably skip around from box to box, and if you're accurate, it'll still fit. One thing I did as a middle school teacher, I would take a painting and I would grid it off, and then I would cut it up, and I would give each student a square, and they painted that square as exactly as they could to the shape within it, and then we put it together like a puzzle, and it was really cool.
I bet that was.
It was cool. Okay, so what I like about this is here's 1A. Yay, I'm done. Okay, so let's go down to 1B. So when I look at this image, again, I don't want you to think of I'm drawing a frog. I want you to go back to day one where we were drawing elements of shape. I'm looking for curved lines, angle lines, straight lines, and I'm looking to see what direction they go. Well, one thing I can do is I can see where this point right here intersects this line, and if I put my pencil here and I go up here, that's like 1/4, right at 1/4. So I'm going to look at, here's my middle, and I'm going to go up 1/4. So right about there is where this curved line comes. And so I might want to look from here to here, about halfway, from here to here is halfway, up. Do you see how I'm using my square as a reference? So so somewhere to about right there. So now I know that that curve is about right there.
Is it about halfway?
Close enough. It might be, see, I don't have the lines on this far edge, so it might not be quite halfway. But it's going to be close enough. And then I look at what touches that. I can go up from there. I'm a little high. And it starts pretty close to that angle. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to curve down. And I'm looking here, and it's going to curve up just a little bit, cross this line, and go about halfway into that box. It's going to come down just a little bit, go even beyond that line. But you see how I'm doing one line at a time? And then this curves under here and goes under and over. I'm not looking to see how big anything is. Now, when I want you to look at this eye for right now. The eye on the frog, if I took this piece and I divided it into fourths, if you have a part of your grid that's really detailed, a box, a piece that has so much going on that it's like, I don't know where to start, then what I'm going to do is, y'all watch me, I'm going to lift this up. This piece right here has a lot going on, so I'm going to break it down even smaller. So now, remember that first 20 box drawing where, if you have something that's really detailed, you see how you can make smaller boxes, smaller shapes. So now if I have that broken up into smaller pieces, I can say, oh, well, that fills about that's about how much space that one fills up. And then there's another circle inside it. And then there's kind of a teardrop inside it. Okay? All right, so I'm going to give y'all time to try to draw your frog the same shape that it is here. And it should all be freehand.
All right.
Yeah. I'm I mean, nothing is exactly, pure, perfect circle on this. If you don't get it just at the right place, it's okay too. It'll be close enough. Let's do. My frog's a bit skinny, but that's okay. And erasing is okay. One of the things that looks kind of funny on this is the back legs. He has one back foot. This, turn my phone down. The back foot comes over that log, and you don't see how it's connecting to his body. You see his knee, but you don't. Oh, see, I have his knee too far down and had to raise it up. I was looking at that branch instead. Got to pay attention to what I'm doing. Can't talk, and you really can't talk and draw at the same time when you're comparing shapes and y'all getting the feeling of how it's done? How to look for reference points from the points that you have on your grid. The reason why I have 3 different sizes is because when you get the feeling, when you get to try, like right now, this one, you're transferring what you see in the same size of which is what it is. You'll figure out, well, am I comfortable with doing it the same size? Is enlarging it easy enough for me? Is making it smaller? Sometimes you'll find that one is easier for you than the other, but it's good to try all different ones. So, you don't have to finish your frog by any means before you go to a different size. But I do want you to experience the difference when you're enlarging versus when you're just trying to keep it identical. This takes a lot of concentration. And I've drawn this frog a ton.
I wonder how many times you're on this
Oh,
frog.
well, every time I taught, every semester, every class I drew it 3 times, and I had 6 classes, and I taught 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I can't get down, do the math foot at all.
See, don't think of it as a foot, just think, because it's a weird shape.
Well, no, I know, but it can't get the lines to be the
See,
right
I didn't even get mine right, actually, when I looked back
It's
at
the
it again.
size, not the, wow, come on now.
But when you and you don't have to do any kind of shading or anything. I was just fooling with that. But then try how going smaller is. And if I realized there was a couple of lines on this first one that I didn't exactly get in the right place, but I might want to be a little more conscientious about it this time. And if anybody has a need,
The whole frog already,
if anybody has a need for a pencil sharpener, I have them available too. But draw light. Always draw light. You can always erase a lot easier.
So I want to see how their light tables do versus
Okay, I'll get mine out too. Y'all can.
gotcha. Okay.
And you can adjust the brightness.
Oh, okay. And are you using tighter paper? Yeah. Okay.
You want to try one?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I just curious. how
It's a
that
little
works.
glary, but sometimes you need. Now, Judy, I would only have one grid under. I would take this one out. You don't need this one right now. You just need. Oops, I just turned it off. You just need the grid that's under your frog. Can you turn that down? Or is that only one? Is it only one level?
No, it'll
There
go
it
there,
goes.
but then it goes off. So,
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, that comes bright.
Oh, it's by touch. Okay.
That's bright. That's not as bright as it was. I haven't figured it out yet.
Because mine just goes low, medium, high, I think.
Yeah, mine's also touch.
Yeah. Oh. I wonder if mine does that. I need to go look. Oh. I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
that's the only. It took me a while to figure that out.
I'm gonna turn this off for now. That gives you the idea. Well, might turn it off.